I'm Richard Carter, Chief Executive of Nostrum Group, and this is Tom Martin, our Head of Projects. We're a technology provider. We provide our solutions to revolutionize the lending market, making lending cheaper, faster, and safer. We're privileged to work with some of the UK's largest online and offline brands, including retail banks, retail finance companies, telcos, and a number of other specialist finance providers. You can read about our organisation in the handbook, you can come and have a look at our booth, or you can check us out on the internet. There's been loads of innovation in financial services over the last couple of years, and the majority of it has focused on the delivery of financial products. In the lending space, that's been how long it takes to get from the application to cash in the customer's bank account. That's all well and good, but we feel that the back office processing in the lending environment has been overlooked and needs some innovation, particularly around the debt collection space. Current models perpetuate the age-old approach of a human being picking up a telephone and ringing a consumer trying to get money out of them. We think that approach is outdated and ripe for transformation. So today, we're launching the Virtual Collector. The Virtual Collector replaces that human being with an online rules-based negotiation engine. So let's take a look at the software. We're going to start first with a mobile device and a little bit of role play. Tom's going to drive. Okay, so we've received a text message here telling us that our account needs some urgent attention. What we're going to do now is log straight into the application software, which would traditionally be the normal customer services approach that our customer would use for servicing their own account. Once they've logged in, they're going to be presented with a screen that shows them that they're in arrears. Pretty all straightforward so far. As we move on from here, we can view our loan. We can see that the last payment we made was a few months ago. We owe £300 and we've got to take some kind of action to settle this debt right now. So as we move through this process, what the system's going to do is give me the opportunity to make an offer to settle that debt. So £300 is a bit rich for me right now. I think I could probably manage 200, so let's see what's going to happen with that. Okay, that's interesting. Saying that £200 isn't enough, so it's come up in red. They really need me to make a payment of £250. That's still too much for me. What about 240? Let's try it at that. Okay, that's great. 240 has been accepted. So what I can do now is either pay it in full, which would be £240 coming out of my bank account straight away, or I can pay installments. Let's go for the installments option. Okay, so what it's done here is it's picked up £100 to pay today, which is the 11th of Feb, and from the core lending system, it's identified that my salary payment date is the 28th of February, the end of this month. So I'll pay the other £140 there. That's great. Let's go ahead with that. Okay, I've used my debit card with this lender before, so they've got that on file. Let me just enter the code, make the payment, and see what happens from there. Okay, so that's fantastic. That payment's going to be made. Brilliant. So, if we can switch to the tablet device now. So that customer experience has been pretty seamless. I've logged on, I've made a payment, everything's great. So let's have a look now at what the innovation is behind all of that. In a traditional collections environment, that discount that I've just negotiated would have been set within the collections floor. And typically, the older the debt, the larger the discount that's allocated to it. And that's just not very scientific. What we're doing in the Virtual Collector is we're taking thousands of data points dynamically in order to work out what that discount percentage and discount amount ought to be. So what we're doing there is we're looking at primary data that we have in the lending system. We've done an immediate call out to a credit reference agency, so we've got up-to-the-minute information from them. We've looked at how the consumer has interacted with the website in terms of behavioral processing, and we've also picked up some social media data, augmented all of that, and decided that we want to make an offer to reduce that payment, which is great. So once we've got that discount amount, the system then does a gameplay with the customer, and almost irrespective of whatever offer that customer makes, the system's going to try and get that customer to bid a little bit further, so we're reducing our charge-off. As soon as we get to a position where we're happy with the payment, we'll lock it in, we'll take the payment, and that's it, job done. That's great. That's the happy path. The unhappy path is where the customer makes a payment that isn't acceptable to us. So let's say in that scenario, the payment was £170. Well, we're not happy to take that, but we've identified some really interesting data points. One, the customer acknowledges the debt. Two, they've actually tried to pay it. And three, if we wanted, we could just accept £170 right now. Now, clearly, there'll be some instances where the customer decides, actually, do you know what, I don't want to take this seriously. I'll offer them £5 or £10 or £15. What the system will do there is identify that that customer is probably in hardship and will automatically refer them to debt management agencies in order to get some free debt advice, which fulfills our FCA regulations and requirements to treat the customer fairly and to signpost them appropriately. Naturally, all of the information that's recorded here or presented here is then recorded in our core lending system, so we have all of that information immediately at our fingertips. Now, we know that the virtual collector will reduce charge-offs, increase profitability, and increase customer engagement. So that's the virtual collector. We're Nostrum Group. We make credit cheaper, faster, and safer. Thank you very much.